So I'm currently on my IVF journey, and today is Friday. It's October 16th, and on October 12th, which was Monday, I did my follicle retrieval. So a follicle retrieval is when, and when you're doing the IVF cycle, it's when they go in and they see what follicles are between 18 to 25 in size. I believe it's and depending on their size, they remove those follicles and then they determine which ones are mature and they fertilize them. So from my 6 follicles, 5 were matured, so that means in those 5 follicles there were 5 eggs. Of those 5 eggs, 3 were fertilized. So what they do is they take, there's 2 methods to do insemination. So one is direct insemination, which is called ICSI, and one is like kind of the more traditional route of putting the sperm and the egg together, and then whatever sperm gets to the egg fertilizes the egg. However, if you have like a male factor issue also going on, they might suggest ICSI, and more commonly they suggest ICSI if there's any like reason they think that traditional fertilization wouldn't happen through the IVF way. And so in 5 days, the 3 follicles will hopefully all mature to the blastocyst phase, and that's when those fertilized eggs, and at that point they're embryos. So there are 3 embryos, and so when they mature in about 5 days from that day, they're called blastocysts. And so when they become blastocysts, which I'll find out this weekend, so hopefully Sunday, Monday, I find out how those 3 embryos are doing, and hopefully they all matured to blastocyst phase. And after that, I'll find out the quality of the embryos. And so it's just basically like, I think, you know, to know like they're genetically, you don't do a genetic testing, but it's just like their quality based on like the information that they have at that point. So I'm really looking forward to that. I am really hopeful. I really hope this is wrapping up our, I really hope this is just like one step closer to the ultimate goal of being pregnant, having a child, having a healthy, amazing child, so my son has a sibling, and to have that other person to our family. And I'm really hopeful. 3 embryos I hear is also good. When I was talking to the finance person in terms of, you know, just like money stuff, they said that typically people test 4 embryos. So hopefully by Sunday, Monday, I find out that I have 3 embryos that can be tested. So what is testing? It's the genetic testing. The acronym is PGT, prenatal genetic testing. And so that's just like another layer of testing, and they test for a bunch of things, basically chromosomes. Basically you need 46, so 23 from the parent, for both parents, and just you know, making sure everything's good with their chromosomes. And they test for specific conditions. They don't test for everything, but they test for hundreds of things. And when my husband and I did our pre-genetic testing, we both had different like everybody has like their genetic history of things that run in their family or run in their genes, and we were really fortunate that nothing that he had I had. So in terms of like having a child together, genetically they have a good shot. After Sunday, Monday, I'll find out how many of those embryos became blastocysts. I'll find out their grade basically, and based on that, then I could take those and test them for PGT. So PGT, that testing takes about 7 to 10 days. So I will not be able, if everything went well, I wouldn't, the only way to implant right now is if everything went well on Sunday or Monday and I got my results back and they said everything's good, we can do a fresh transfer. A fresh transfer means that they do not have to freeze anything. If that were the case, I would then get that transfer this upcoming week. However, I'm opting for PGT. I want to do the genetic testing. The reason why I'm doing that is also, it's multiple factors. I just want to make sure that we do this right. This is our first time and I want to just do everything the right way. I'm of a certain age. I don't want to come all this way and then not do this one thing and then something happens, you know, in a month or two. So I just want to make sure like I'm crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's kind of thing. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything that I possibly could do to have a healthy pregnancy, a healthy child, a healthy birth. So because of that, because I'm waiting for the PGT, I won't be able to do a fresh transfer. That means I'm going to get my period in about 9 days or so. And so after I get my period, then next month when I'm ovulating and I do this whole thing again, and about day 21 to day 25, that's when I could possibly do the transfer. Again, if everything goes well, if Sunday, Monday comes back, results are great. And then if results come back from PGT and everything's great, then I could do a transfer next month in cycle day 21 to 25. So for me, that would be before Thanksgiving. And so I wouldn't know until I think about a little less than 2 weeks later if there was a positive result, if everything went well. And so I'm really hopeful. There was part of me thought like, oh, this is gonna happen before Halloween. I'm gonna know before Halloween. And then it's like, oh no, like that's not happening, you know? But that's something that you learn, like being a parent, you wanna do everything that will get your optimal results and everything, right? Like you wanna teach them, like when you're teaching them to potty train, when you're teaching them how to wean, when you're teaching them just like these basic life skills, you want to just do everything in your best interest to make sure you're setting them on the right path. And that's how I feel like I'm trying to do right now. I'm doing everything I possibly can to set a potential birth into motion so it'll just get the optimal results. And I will create another video after I find out my results from Sunday, and then I will speak to my doctor in another week or so, and I guess I'll get my results for my PGT. And so I'm really excited about those 2 results. I'm really hopeful, and I'm just glad, you know, like some people, they get retrievals and if they don't go well. And here I am, I got 6 follicles, 5 fertilized, 3 are embryos, and I just feel really great. I feel really lucky, you know, like, you know, when you're taking all those shots and when you're, you know, taking all these meds and going in every other day and getting your blood drawn and doing ultrasounds, it's exhausting, it's emotionally draining, it's physically draining, especially when you have a small child and you have to like figure out childcare. It is the year of COVID, and so figuring all that out, wearing a mask, not having a support circle. And through this journey I've learned like you need a support circle. Like I was lucky that I was able to find a couple people going through this similar journey, and I really encourage everyone to have a couple of cheerleaders. It doesn't have to be your partner, and it doesn't have to be your mom, and it doesn't have to be your cousin. It could be perfect strangers who are just going through the same thing, because the only person who's going to understand in real time are other people who are going through this experience as well. And whatever you learn or whatever they learn, like, you could share it. And I think it's quite beautiful, like, starting this relationship with people on this such a human, you know, wanting to have a child, wanting to be pregnant, wanting to grow your family is so basic in terms of like wants, needs, and desires of being a human being, right? Like, this is what connects us all, right? A lot of us really want to create these families and to have a child and to be pregnant and go through the whole thing and raise our child. And for me, especially giving my child, my son who's now 3, a sibling, it's just, I didn't know I wanted another child until I had my son. And then I realized how beautiful and amazing he is. And I don't want to shortchange him. I want to give him everything. And for me, at this point, I feel like if I can, I want to do everything I can to give him a sibling. All right.